Good morning! I had an exciting night last night. Absolutely exciting. Nothing boring about it. But you know what? Still a good day. Feeling very blessed that nobody got injured. So I think I told you guys yesterday I was transporting an old set of trailers that I did the pre-trip on, make sure that I found a flat tire and the lights and stuff like that. I was quite nervous about those trailers because, well, they've been sitting a long time there. Things might be wrong with them, so I did an in-depth pre-trip, checked everything. I'm so glad I did that. I also did all the brake checks. Spent full brake checks, did more than just the brake check. I inspected everything. So it was some of my longest brake checks I did. And even with all that, something went very, very wrong. The fifth wheel on my lead, the jaws that hold the rear trailer in, broke. So, as I was passing in a slow car on the highway, the rear trailer decided it was done hanging on and decided it wanted to be unloaded. It unloaded very, very quickly into the median. I'm thankful it unloaded into the median instead of into the roadway, the car I was passing. The pup hit the ground, the landing gear broke on it, and it slid into the ditch. All the lumber on top of it went sliding right off of it. It was a pretty abrupt stop for that trailer, so it broke the straps and all the lumber came sliding down. It was all 2x2s. It looked like the ditch was filled with toothpicks. But like I said, really lucky. All I felt was a big jolt in the truck. Look in the mirror and I saw sparks and I saw the pup going into the ditch. So loss of air, the air hose is obviously ripped off, meant that I lost air to my trailer as well. My tractor protection valve performed as it should and didn't affect my truck at all. So that was good. Those safety features that you do on a pre-trip all worked. That's why you do those pre-trips, because if that valve hadn't worked, then I might have been in even more trouble. Everything would have locked up. So I quickly pulled off onto the more into the ditch than onto the shoulder. Median didn't have much of a, but it's a very shallow. I pulled further forward where the shallow section is. I do have it on dash cam, but there's not much to see. It all happened behind me, right? So yeah, rapid disassembly of the fifth wheel jaws and of my load. RCMP happened to be driving on the other side of the highway while this happened, so ambulance and fire trucks showed up almost immediately.
Take exit 8 on the right to Nordell Way, then keep right. Be in the right lane.
I gotta repaint these. Always veer onto the shoulder there because you think that's where the lane is.
In 300 meters, be in the left lane, then keep left to Nordell Way.
I didn't even look at the scales open. What? Oh no. The scale's always open.
Keep left to Nordell Way.
Yeah, there's trucks in there. But the scale's always open on a morning like this, so I'm just gonna assume it's open.
In 900 meters, turn right on Highway 17.
So yeah, called tow truck. The police released me, so I kept driving. I aired up my trailer, checked for air leaks, did a quick pre-trip. Well, not a quick, I did a full pre-trip on the rear end of the lead trailer. What are you doing in here, car? Hey, car, this is a scale. I think they're just realizing that. I think the car wanted to take the next exit and took the scale. Yeah, I did a pre-trip on the rear of the lead. Couldn't find anything wrong with it. Made sure all the tires were still good, no flat spots, no air leaks, no flat tires. Did I say that already? So nothing dangling off the end. The rear bumper's bent, so the mud flap is just barely touching the rear wheel, but it's just rubbing. So I'm like, okay, I'm safe to go. The RCMP wanted me to get out of there ASAP if I was safe to move. So I did she wanted to know right away if I was okay to move. If so, get moving. And I'm like, I don't know that yet. Let me go do a full check on the trailers. Once I did my full check, I went and talked to her. She gave me my drivers and all the paperwork back, and I went on my way. Tow trucks were just showing up then, and had all my bosses calling me. I just sent in a bunch of pictures. Filled out a accident report right away. Always remember to take pictures right away and fill out an accident report right away. Your memory is the freshest right away. If I were to fill it out today, I probably would have forgotten things, and in my head things have changed already. The brain does some funny things. So always fill that stuff out right away. Get right between these trucks. So that way they can see me. If they want to stop me, they can. My trailer is screaming to be inspected with the bumper rubbing. So I thought there was a high chance of getting pulled in today.
Turn left at the traffic light, then take the first right.
So yeah, stuff goes wrong. I have to remember to focus on the positive. Some days I focus on the negative. Oh, the truck was overheating. I was giving the repair shop crap. You know what? Things go wrong. Nobody's perfect. I should really focus on the positive stuff. I feel sometimes I need to remember that. Someone needs to remind me that.
Turn right at the traffic light.
No need to make fun of the other guy. Because things go wrong for everybody, including me. And as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing I could have done different than I was doing. I was doing my full trip, pre-trips.
Be in either of them two right lanes.
I did my tug tests, all that. Checked all the fifth wheels locked. Because I was nervous about the load, I went in an in-depth pre-trip. So it was good to do that. I don't know if I would enjoy driving for a company where you drop and trade trailers all the time, because I want to know what I'm running. Like, I knew my other trailers inside out. I knew every little quirk it had.
Turn right on Highway 17.
And if you're just dropping and trading trailers, very often the other drivers don't care, and then when you pick up the trailer you find all these things wrong with it. when I did my brake check in Manning Park, I found another problem. My hub on my truck, driver's side axle number 2, the hub is leaking oil. Today morning there was actually a little puddle in the wheel well, so I'm bringing this trailer to repair shop, and then we're going to look at the truck right away too. Yeah, and my company is awesome, absolutely awesome. The Sutco bosses, they rock. The first question of all their mouths are you safe? Are you okay? Everybody, I had 4 people calling me, 5. Well, I guess I called one person. Every question was, are you safe? That's the first thing they wanted to know. Second question, did I hit anyone else? Okay, if those are both good, are we off the road? Are we blocking the highway? Nope, we're off the road. Okay, then we start going, okay, what happened? What's the material damage? How do the trailers look? Basically, did the trailers flip over? Are they repairable? That stuff all comes at the end. That's last priority. First priority is always safety. So that's pretty awesome. Pretty darn awesome. This guy's going under the speed limit. Nobody behind us, so I think we will pass. Did this in Chilliwack yesterday, and then the guy beside me sped up. In fact, is that what's happening here? Oh, maybe I'm slowing down. Just under 80 now. Cruise control. My fault. See, I'm blaming him. At least that's what my GPS says. GPS said it was slowed down and sped up again, but little hills make it speed up and slow down. Oh yeah, I'm shorter. I'm much shorter. I can cut in sooner. Right. So yeah, if you guys ever see me starting to go into the negative side stuff on YouTube or on my Facebook, just remind me. Hey, positive. Don't make fun of other people. If there's someone that's doing their job not the best way in the world, slow, very slow at their job, maybe it's their first day at work. I don't know. If I know the person and the person has proved that they are a slow, lazy worker, that's a little different. But if this is the first time I've seen the person and they're really slow, maybe I don't need to make fun of them. Maybe it was their first day. I did find interesting after pulling onto the road, the truckers were debating if it was my fault that the pup fell off or if it was a mechanical issue. It's always interesting to hear what other people say about you. The argument that kind of finished the argument off was the one guy, he just goes, the guy made it all the way from Klesnikov to here. It's obviously not his fault. If the pin had not been locked, you would not have made it this far. I would have lost the trailer in Castlegar already. And everybody goes, yeah, good point. So I kind of ended the debate. But something mechanically went wrong. And it's one of those things that's in the fifth wheel, under the jaws. I can't even blame the maintenance team for that, because how do you know something like that's going to fail? I don't know if I talked about it yesterday, or I was definitely thinking about no matter how much maintenance you do on these trailers, safety them, if they've been sitting there for a few years, it won't show up. Problems with the trailer won't show up until you're on the highway. I wish it wouldn't have shown up in a spectacular way like it did, but it did. Definitely made it an exciting afternoon. Confused the RCMP a little. I wasn't panicking or anything. I was pretty darn calm. And she wanted to know, call CVSE. She called CVSE. They weren't going to come out because she just wanted to know why the black lines. What happened to create the black lines and made the accident? I'm like, ma'am, the black lines are after the accident. The black lines. So she wanted to know answers right now. So I had a hard time explaining to her that when the pup fell off, I couldn't use that lingo either. I'm like, when the rear trailer fell off, the air lines got severed and dumped all the air in the lead trailer, locking up the brakes. I had to explain to her it's a safety feature. If you lose air, it'll lock up its brakes. It'll stop you. Unlike a train, when you lose air pressure, I guess they do oil? Do air? I don't know. Do trains use oil or air? When trains lose pressure, the brakes release and they just go for a ride. On trucks, they got the safety feature of when you lose air, the brakes automatically lock up. So the trailer tires locked up. I put on low gear and just pulled them right off the side of the road before even checking what was going wrong. Just get off the road, get out of the way, safety first, right? Put on my safety gear, stepped out, turned off the valves that lead from the front trailer to the rear trailer, and then went and took pictures and all that stuff. So the black lines, that's where those came from. And then she goes, well, what caused the trailer to break off? It's like, okay, I can show you. It's better to show, right? Walked to the rear trailer and I showed her my fifth wheel and told her something in here failed. So she took pictures of it and made a file. Definitely an exciting afternoon. So now that made today interesting because I only have half the load. My paperwork does not match what I have on my trailers. So I went outside and checked off every tag on the lumber and circled the ones that I still had on my trailer, which is exactly half, 12 bundles on the front trailer, 12 bundles on the rear trailer. Circled all of them, emailed it into dispatch. They got a hold of Klesnikoff. They made new paperwork. Took an hour and a half, 2 hours. Once I had all that paperwork, I then delivered the load, and now I'm headed to Chilliwack to the repair shop and see how that goes and go from there. So thank you guys for watching. Hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed. If there's any kind of interesting stuff after I drop off these trailers, I'll make a second video. It'll be a separate video and I'll post that as well. I predict most likely once we have it all figured out, it might take a few hours in Chilliwack. I'll probably be bobtailing to Kamloops to grab that new set of trailers. So if that happens, I'll shoot another video of that. Thank you. You guys rock. Have a good afternoon, good week, and stay positive. Life is good.